Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Matt from Pinnacle Chiropractic, your local pediatric, prenatal, and family chiropractic office here in the Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, and Bradenton, Florida area. In today's video, we're going to talk all about what the perfect storm is. And so, if your child is struggling with chronic neurological challenges, things like autism, ADHD, sensory processing disorder, or even things like anxiety, seizures, OCD, PANS, PANDAS, and so forth, then it's likely there's these four things that are true for you, mom and dad. So the first one is you've exhausted all support from the traditional pediatrician, the medical specialist, and the medical system, finding little to no answers or help finding the root cause. The second thing being that you've been up late at night countless times searching and scrolling through websites, Facebook groups, and Instagram accounts, searching for the root cause and drug-free help for your child. The third one being that you've also already gone after every diet change and detox and probiotic supplement and integrative therapy out there, and yet perhaps your child still struggles. And then the fourth and last one is it's not just the diagnosis that you're looking for help with, it's that every single day is a struggle. So if this sounds like you, then it's likely your child and your whole family are stuck in what we call the perfect storm, which is really a sequence of traumatic, toxic, and life-altering events that a child goes through early in life, as far back as pregnancy, labor and delivery, and early childhood, that leaves their nervous system stuck in a perpetual and consistent state of fight or flight overdrive and throws them off track developmentally. So no matter what you try, they seem to just stay stuck and struggle each and every day. And you see some improvements with diet changes, detoxes, and movement-based therapies like PT, OT, and speech, but nothing seems to last and nothing seems to get the job all the way done. So this video specifically made for parents desperate to get their children off of the chronic illness and medication roller coaster and want real answers as to what's really going on and what drug-free options are out there to help and support your child. So here's what parents have to say about the perfect storm concept once they hear it fully broken down, like we will in this video. It was like you described my child in our journey word for word and step by step. When I first heard you explain all this, I finally felt hope once again, and that we finally had a sense of direction to get our child better. It all just made so much sense. I can't believe no other doctor told me this or taught me this before. So before we dive into the science and what exactly the perfect storm is, there's some stats that I want to share with you guys, and these are all taken from the CDC website. So 1 in 4 kids right now have some sort of chronic illness. 1 in 6 kids have some sort of sensory issues, and 1 in 36 kids have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. So as a society and in our culture, we're seeing chronic challenges in children become more common. They're not becoming less common. So as parents, we need to start asking the questions, why? Why are these childhood conditions becoming more common and not becoming less common? We're in the United States, one of the most developed and blessed nations in the world, but yet our healthcare is not helping children live healthy and lives to their fullest potential. So the next part, we're really going to dive into the science behind this. So the first thing that we want to talk about is really that everything is really linked together. When you go to the traditional medical approach, all the different symptoms out there are seen as individual symptoms. They don't have anything to do with one another. But the truth is, everything is really linked together. So parents don't understand how their child's early childhood health issues like colic and constipation, eczema, ear infections, and so forth are all linked together, and that kids don't really grow out of these conditions, but instead they grow into things like sensory processing disorder, autism, ADHD, asthma, allergies, etc. These conditions really follow a predictable pattern that we like to call the perfect storm. So while medicine has a different specialist for neurological issues, gut challenges, immune system problems, they're all connected via one system. So the second thing that I want to talk about is often this really starts with high amounts of stress during pregnancy. So one of the most overlooked triggers of things like sensory and spectrum disorders in kids is a high stress and high intervention medicalized pregnancy and prenatal period. This early exposure to stress then shifts mom's nervous system into a sustained fight or flight sympathetic stress response, and all of those stress hormones are then shared with the developing baby's nervous system. The umbilical cord doesn't just bring nutrients and oxygen to the baby, but it also serves as the electrical power cord that connects mom's nervous system to baby's nervous system. The third thing we're going to talk about with the science behind the perfect storm is the next most overlooked perfect storm component is birth intervention and physical trauma, especially to baby's neck, brainstem, and nervous system areas. So when infants get stuck in the birth canal and they use interventions like forceps, vacuum extractions, induction, and C-section, it ends up putting an immense pressure on baby's head, neck, and delicate brainstem area as they yank, twist, and pull on them. This creates significant tension, misalignment, and alterations in neuromuscular function for this brand new infant, and this is something that we call in pediatric chiropractic as subluxation. So when that tension and neurological dysfunction exist, especially in the brainstem and the upper neck, the other regions of the neurospinal system that immediately shifts the nervous system into a sustained fight or flight sympathetic response. So in turn, it shuts down or suppresses the function of what's called the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system. And that vagus nerve and that parasympathetic nervous system are really responsible for our rest, our sleep, our soothing, our latching, our swallowing, eating, and digestion, our respiration and breathing, mucus secretion, and immune function. And so the fourth thing that we're going to talk about is that all of this adds up to a stressed, colicky, fussy, sick infant, toddler who then gets antibiotics and medications. Once a child's nervous system is overstressed and out of balance, they immediately begin to struggle with things like those mentioned above. Their immune system and digestive system is really challenged and they start to get sick. The pediatrician is then going to often prescribe antibiotics and other medications that further destroy the gut-brain connection and microbiome, throwing the child even more off track. Eventually, this can all cascade into things like autism, allergies, asthma, ADHD, anxiety, and more. While each condition gets diagnosed and medicated separately, they originate from subluxation, neurological dysfunction, and what's called dysautonomia. Now, dysautonomia is really when the entire autonomic nervous system is out of balance, dysregulated, and dysfunctional when it gets stuck in that sympathetic, in that fight or flight mode. The fifth science component that we're really going to talk about is how chiropractic works to restore that neurological function. So the doctors out there who know about this deep foundational true root neurological cause of chronic illness in kids are often neurologically focused pediatric chiropractors. And this is really a unique specialty within chiropractic where doctors are trained and experienced in finding subluxation, neurological dysfunction, dysautonomia, and vagus nerve damage using an incredible piece of cutting-edge technology called the Insight scan. So once we have these scans for your child, we can find exactly where their subluxations and neurological challenges are and build a fully customized and personalized care plan and set of adjusting protocols to help their nervous system better regulate, restore, function, and get back on track developmentally. So each neurologically focused adjustment is really designed to release that stuck stress from the sympathetic fight or flight nervous system, activate and stimulate that vagus nerve and that parasympathetic rest, digest, and regulate side of the nervous system and bring the nervous system as a whole back into balance and better brain to body communication. So this is the perfect storm, is what we talked about, is what is the hidden root cause behind a lot of these chronic childhood conditions. It's when that brain, that nervous system gets stuck in the stress mode, and oftentimes it's from a stressful pregnancy, a stressful delivery that involves birth interventions, and then a colicky, stressed out baby that then becomes a sick toddler, which then eventually becomes that child diagnosed with sensory processing disorder, autism, anxiety, and things like that. So if you're ready to finally get to the real root cause of your child's daily battles with chronic illness and not just chase the symptoms with medications or other therapies, then take the first step to learn more about our neurologically focused pediatric chiropractic care by registering for our upcoming webinar. This incredible webinar will take you through this in even more detail and give you the space to ask questions and go through your concerns, and then take the first step to get your child scheduled for our in-depth consultation and insight neurological scans. So to get registered for this webinar, simply click the link below or in our bio, and that will save your spot right away. So hope you guys enjoyed this video on the perfect storm, guys. And as always, I'm Dr. Matt. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.